I'm 88 years old now. That's a lot of time to think. A lot of nights lying awake. A lot of mornings waking up and remembering things you wish you could forget. People ask me sometimes, not often anymore, but sometimes they ask, what was it all worth? The career, the money, the reputation. And I don't know how to answer that. Because the truth is, I don't think about those things much anymore. I think about Michael. Michael Chen, that was his name. We met in 1962. I was 24, he was 26. We both worked at the same architectural firm in Philadelphia. Small place, maybe 12 people total. We shared an office. Well, it wasn't really an office, more like a corner with two desks pushed together. But we didn't mind. We talked all day about buildings, about ideas, about everything, really. Michael was the kind of person who made you feel like your thoughts mattered, you know? He'd listen, really listen, not just waiting for his turn to talk. And he was talented. God, he was talented. Better than me, if I'm being honest. His drawings had this life to them, like the buildings wanted to exist. We became friends fast, best friends, the kind where you don't even have to explain yourself. We'd work late together, go get dinner at this Italian place on Walnut Street, Gino's it was called, closed down years ago. We'd talk about opening our own firm someday, partnership, equal partners, that was the dream. And I believed in that dream, I really did. In 1967, the senior partner, Mr. Hutchinson, he announced he was retiring. He said he'd be selling his share of the firm. Now, there were 3 partners at the time, and they needed someone to buy in, someone younger, someone who could take the firm forward. Michael and I, we both wanted it. Of course we did. But we thought maybe we'd do it together, pool our money, become junior partners together. That's what we talked about. That's what we planned. But then Hutchinson pulled me aside one afternoon, private meeting. He told me he'd been watching my work, said I had business sense, said Michael was a brilliant designer, but I understood clients, I understood money. And he said if I could come up with the capital, the position was mine. Just mine. I didn't sleep that night. I remember lying there next to my wife, Linda. We'd been married 2 years, and just staring at the ceiling, thinking, this was my chance, my one chance. And if I said no, if I waited to do it with Michael, what if they gave it to someone else? What if the opportunity never came again? I was 29 years old. I was scared of being ordinary, scared of missing my shot. So I went to the bank, took out a loan. My father-in-law helped with some of it, and I told Hutchinson yes. I didn't tell Michael what I was doing. I just did it. The day they announced it, Michael was sitting right there at our desk. They called everyone into the conference room. Hutchinson stood up and said, "I'm pleased to announce that our new junior partner will be," and he said my name. I remember looking over at Michael, just for a second, and his face, it didn't change right away. He just stared, like he was trying to understand what he'd just heard. Then he nodded once, and he looked down at his hands. We didn't talk about it, not that day, not ever, really. He stayed at the firm for another 3 months,
We still sat at the same desk, but it wasn't the same. We'd say good morning, we'd talk about projects, but that other thing, that friendship we had, it was gone. I'd killed it, and I knew it, but I didn't know how to fix it. I didn't even know if I wanted to fix it, because fixing it would mean admitting what I'd done, and I couldn't do that. Then one Friday, he didn't come in. His desk was cleaned out. No note, no goodbye. He'd taken a job in Boston. I heard about it from one of the other draftsmen. I never saw him again. I told myself it was fine. I told myself this was just how life worked. You make hard choices, you move forward. And I did move forward. The firm grew. I brought in big clients, hospitals, office buildings, that museum renovation downtown. I made money. I made a name. I became exactly what I wanted to become. But you know what's strange? Every success, every award, every time someone shook my hand and said congratulations, there was this feeling, this hollow feeling, like I was watching it happen to someone else. I'd come home after a good day, and Linda would ask how it went, and I'd say, great, really great, and I'd mean it. But then I'd sit down in my chair, and I'd think about Michael, wonder where he was, what he was doing, whether he ever thought about me. Years went by, 10 years, 20. I retired in 1998, sold my share of the firm. By then, Linda had passed, cancer. And my daughter, she lived in Seattle with her family, good people, but far away. So it was just me in this house. And you'd think that would be when I'd feel successful, right? I had money, I had respect, I could do whatever I wanted. But mostly what I did was sit and remember. I tried to find him once. This was maybe 15 years ago. I got on the computer, my grandson helped me, and I searched for Michael Chen. Found an old article from a Boston newspaper. He'd designed a public library there. Beautiful building. I looked at the pictures for a long time. I thought about writing to him. I even started a letter. Dear Michael, I know it's been a long time, but I didn't know what to say after that. I'm sorry? What good would that do after 40 years? So I threw it away. He died in 2014. I found out from an obituary online. Heart attack. He was 78. It said he was survived by his wife, 2 sons, and 4 grandchildren. It said he was a beloved architect and teacher. It said he mentored young designers and always made time for his students. It didn't say anything about me. Of course it didn't. Why would it? I went to the funeral. I don't know why. I drove 6 hours to Boston. I sat in the back of the church. I didn't go to the reception. I needed to be there. His wife spoke. She talked about how kind he was, how generous, how he never had a bad word to say about anyone. And I sat there thinking, he had a good life. He had a full life without me. And that was the right thing. That was what he deserved. But it still hurt. It still hurts. You spend your whole life thinking you're building something. You think success is the point. You think winning is the point. And maybe when you're young, you have to think that way. Maybe you have to believe that getting ahead matters more than anything else. But it doesn't.
I'm not saying ambition is wrong. I'm not saying you shouldn't work hard or want things. But I am saying, don't sacrifice the people who see you, the people who believe in you, because those people, they're not replaceable. I know that now.
I had everything I thought I wanted, but I lost the one person who would have celebrated it with me. And that made it all smaller, quieter, lonelier. If you're watching this and there's someone in your life you betrayed, someone you left behind because you thought you had to, please, don't wait. Don't do what I did. Don't tell yourself there'll be time later. There might not be. And if you can't fix it, if it's too late, then just live differently from here on out. Be the kind of person who doesn't have to carry this. Because I'm telling you, it's heavy. It gets heavier every year. I'm 88 years old. I have money in the bank. I have a nice house. I have people who respect my work. But I don't have Michael. And I think about that every single day. I think about him every single day. I wish I could tell him I'm sorry. I wish I could tell him he was right to leave. I wish I could tell him he mattered more than any of it. But I can't, so I'm telling you, don't make my mistake. Don't make my mistake.